Good morning everyone, Rach here from Book Piles. Welcome to a very cold library at 7:30 in the morning. So I'm hoping that the light will be good enough for doing this. And I'm also trialling how I feel about keeping my hair up while I film a video, because I actually don't like my hair down, it needs a haircut. So when I edit it I will make the decision about whether I do this again or not, so I apologise in advance if you don't like it. Now, the subject of today's video. I have decided I will do a July TBR. For me it is 7:30 in the morning on the 2nd of July, and I'm intending to get this video up in the next hour and a half basically, however long it takes the video, and then the editing and uploading process after that. So for a lot of people, if you watch it relatively quickly, it'll still be the 1st of July for you. Partly I've been watching lots of people with TBR pulls and you know, wheels, pick your books and all of that sort of thing, and I like watching them, but I'm hesitant to do a full TBR like that for me, because I really am a mood reader, and I think if I get too set in stone I will get into a reading slump. So I was umming and ahhing about what I should do. Given that now officially for me the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do has started, although I am doing the Ain't Nobody Got Time version, which is the kinder version. I need to have some kind of structure in my monthly reading in order to be able to hit the goal of finishing that HRCYED challenge. I did a quick count up yesterday, and I believe, where did I write the numbers down? I have got some notes in front of me. There are 25, I will try and remember to put, Editing Rachel, the bingo board up here. There are 25 squares for the HRCYED challenge. If you do the full original version, each square is its own challenge, with the requirement to read books from 2 books per square to 12 books per square. The version I'm doing, Ain't Nobody Got Time, is basically 1 book a square, but for some of the prompts you do need to read more than 1 book. So I think I've got maybe 4 or 5 squares where I have multiple books. So I counted up, and for me I need to do 40 books in order to get a blackout on the bingo board, and that translates, I think when I divided it by 12 it was 3.33. so I've said I need to make sure I read 4 HRCYED books per month to keep on track. So I made myself a prompt cup. Where is it? There. With a mantra that I believe there is no such thing as too many books. So I have put the prompts in here. Now at the moment I've got 3 prompts that, oh, camera focus thing, that I can't pull, which are prompts 8, 21 and 25, and that is because I haven't got the books yet. Prompts 8 and 25, I will be buying books at the end of July. I'm waiting for a book to be released which is at the end of July, so I'll place an order once that book has come out. So in that order I'll get the book for prompt 25, which is a recommendation by someone whose reading tastes are wildly different from yours, and if you watch my previous video you know that that is a recommendation by or from Carly, who is a Welsh booktuber. Her channel is The Pastel Bookshelf, I believe, and she talked about a historical fiction that she really liked. So I will order that at the end of July when this other book I'm after comes out. And prompt 8 is, what is the official title? Where is my notes? The official title is, the Not So Secret Prompts, of which there are 12, but in my version I only need to do 1, and I'm going to do the most recent acquisition. So when I place that order in late July, I will then read what I will have. One of those books will be my most recent acquisition, providing I'll have to play it by ear because I don't know when I will pull number 8 to do. So it may or may not work for August. We'll have to see. In fact, I won't be able to use those prompts until September because the books won't arrive till August. And prompt 21 I can't do. Is It's Your Birthday prompt, and the book I'm going to do there, I think in the original version there are 7 books you need to read. Obviously I only need to read 1, and I'll be doing one which is a book published in November, and I'm going to buy a new book in November. It's my birthday month. I'll buy more than one, no doubt. So that book will become available to read in January by the time it's arrived. And I realised, I think I said in the last video that would be a Christmas book, but that order will probably not, will have to include non-Christmas books because I don't really want to be reading Christmas in January. It's the middle of summer for us. So that is to say, very long-winded, there are 3 prompts I can't pull at the moment. So my plan for my TBR is that I'm going to choose 8 books. I'm going to create 8 slots, if you like. 2 of them I'm going to keep open as mood reads. So I will only ever pick 6 books until we're later into HRCYED, and with some of those multiple prompts I'm needing to squeeze more books in. I might have to give up my mood read slots for those, but we'll just see. Because I've taken on this challenge, I'm rethinking the challenges that I was going to do next year. So some of the things I was going to do, I think I'm going to not do in order to complete HRCYED. And then obviously that'll flow through till the end of June next year. And then I'll decide once I see the videos for 4.0 whether or not I try the proper version or not. We'll just have to see. Anyway, so 8 books. So the first book that I would pick will be the book for the Flow On challenge that I'm doing, which is based on a challenge that Sarah's Nightsand developed a couple of years ago. Her and somebody else, and I can never remember the other person because it's Sarah's Nightstand that I watch. And I've evolved it this year into I've deviated from them a little bit. It's still the same principle, but I've changed some of the prompts. So I usually try and read my following on book first in the month, and then it's done. And basically the idea with that is you start in January with a book, and then February's book is something based off January's book, March's book is based off February's book, etc. So July, because it's actually, as I said, it's the 2nd of July, I actually read July's book yesterday. I had to read a book with the author had to have the same initials as June's book, and I read a B.K. Borison book for June, so I needed a BB for July, and I trawled through my Kindle and found a BB which ended up being a short, so I had it read very quickly. So I've ticked that off already. So we might choose, I'll come to that. So my TBR will be the Flow On book, which for this month is done. Then I'm going to pick 4 prompts from the HRCYED Cup. As I said, some of these prompts are for multiple books. So if I pull one of those prompts, I'll read the first book for July, and then the prompt will go back in the jar for August and so on. And once some of the prompts will get pulled out every month because it's only a 1 book for the square. So as time wears on, this may evolve. We'll just have to see how we go. But the goal is, if I pick a square that's got multiple books. I'm not aiming to do the whole square, I think, at this point in time. But then that's where I've got mood read slots, and I could, if like, there's a square called Bookception where you read a book, and if it mentions another book, you then read that book. And I know what book I'm reading for that, for book one, and it may be that I'm into it and I'm excited, and I might just go ahead and read the other book, and then that square is done, and I'll use one of the mood read slots for the second book. I know it makes sense in my mind, even if I'm not conveying it very well. So we'll pick 4 prompts from the HRCYED Cup. There'll be 2 slots that are mood read, and then the 8th slot in my TBR will be going towards trying to complete some of the challenges that I've got in my reading journal, and I'll show that to you next week. Will be next week's video will go over my reading journal for the and how my first 6 months of the year have been, and all of those sorts of things. So today we need to pick 4 prompts, and then I'll talk about what I've got for my challenges. I've chosen 2 books actually for 1 slot, and I may read both of them. That's why I've written them both down. So let's start with getting the 4 prompts. You want to have a look at that camera? There we go. I'm probably moving too much. So I've taken out 3 maths, so there are 22 prompts in here, and some of them are for multiple books. So let's have a look. Prompt number 1 is number 4. Will it focus on that? Traipsing Through the Regions. So that's 1 book. Okay. I think I'm going to pull the 4 prompts out, and then I'm going to turn the camera off because you don't need to see. I'm dressed like a mullet today. If you know the mullet for the hair, business at front, party at the back, I'm a bit like that. Decent at the top, jammy bottoms at the bottom, so we don't need to go to the shelves like that. So I'm going to pick the 4 prompts, then I'll go and see what immediately comes to mind, and we'll take it from there. So we've got 1 prompt. Okay. This is, okay. Prompt 5, choose your curriculum. Where do you want to be, camera to focus? There we go. Choose your curriculum. So this could be non-fiction or fiction, and this is where you pick a subject and read a book, a subject that you would have studied in school, and read a book related to that. I don't think I have any. Do I have anything on my radar for that? Okay, I know what I could do for that. Okay, alright, I have an idea for that. Alright, this is pick number 3. Oh no, really? Okay, it's actually not a no. It's one of the ones that has got 7 books that I need to read in order to complete the square. Sorry, it's not focusing very well. Maybe I just won't show you. I'll just tell you. So square 13 is the HRCYED mashup, where you read 1 prompt from 1.0 and 1 prompt from 2.0. And I chose, and I think I've got the boards the right way around. From board 1, I chose the 4+ series. And from board 2, I chose Challenge Yourself, which I've interpreted to read Liz Tom Ford Backlist, which I've now discovered there is at least 1 book I didn't know about, so I need to do a little bit more diving, because I understood, and I'm sure people have said that, what's it called? Mile High was her debut novel, but it's actually not. So I need to find out if I've actually made this really difficult for myself. I've put 7 books, so if I find out that she's actually got 3 other books I didn't know about, I'm still going to just go with reading 7 books, I think, at this time. Unless I breeze through this, we'll see. So I know what I'm reading for that. Okay, and this is the last pick, the last one from the jar. Oh, we got 2. Okay. This is prompt 20, the weather on the cover. I actually have a book in mind for that, which I don't have at the moment. So I'm actually going to make an executive decision. My game, my rules. And I'm going to just stick prompt 20 on the paperclip as well. Because I think I'm going to go with the book that came on my radar, and I don't have it yet. So we'll pick again. I knew there were 4 things I had to put on the paperclip, and I couldn't remember what the 4th one was. Alright, this is the 4th pick. Oh, okay. Okay. Number 1, choose your party. So this is the Dungeons and Dragons thing where you basically are looking at the main character's occupation. And I have some ideas for that too. So what I'm going to do is pull from the shelves what I can for these prompts, and then we'll talk about the challenge book as well. So I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I've done that. That actually didn't take me too long, maybe 5 minutes or so, partly because I already knew 2 of them off the top of my head what I was going to choose. I should say, I didn't say it at the top of the video, I'm aiming to try and read romance to complete this, my version of this challenge, although I'm not adverse to reading some historical or contemporary fiction for it. So, okay, let's look at what I have chosen. So for prompt, the first prompt we pulled was book 4, Traipsing Through the Regions. I actually looked at the back of this, and this is set in West Texas, and it's a Y choose as far as I'm aware, and it also coincidentally works for my trope bingo. So this is what I'm choosing for prompt number 4, Traipsing Through the Regions. For prompt number 5, which is choose your curriculum, so anything that you would have studied in school, and it can be either fiction or non-fiction. I'm going with fiction, and I'm actually going to go with book 5 and the Game Changers, which is the long game, and this is the follow-up to Shane and Ilya's story. It's I think the longest book. It's over 400 pages actually. It's the longest book I think in the series. But so that is my curriculum pick, sports. For 13, voice is going funny. My HRCYED mashup, which is a 4-book series, 4+ book series. And mashing up with a challenge which is to read Liz Tom Ford. I am starting Liz Tom Ford, so Mile High, that's another chonker. That's over 5, almost 600 pages it looks like. So, excuse me, getting cold. So because there are 7 books in this prompt, I am putting this back for August. The other 3 prompts are all 1 book per square, so those will be taken out now. And for the 4th prompt I pulled, which was choose your party, I'll write on the screen, what is it? Was it Warlock Brought Magic? And she interpreted that as billionaire. So I have a Kindle book. This is my Kindle. I'll put the cover on the screen. I'm going to read $1 Billion Fiancé by Olivia Hale, which is the 4th book in the Seattle Billionaires series. If I was going to double up prompts or books for prompts, I could have done that. Seattle's a different region. I could have actually doubled up a couple of these books, but I'm making the rule, because I'm doing the Kinder version, that I'm not doubling up books, so I need to read 40 separate books. Yeah, so I'm going to read that Billion Dollar Fiance, which will finish that series for me as well. Okay, so that is the 4 HRCYED prompts. Effectively, because it's only the 2nd of July, I'm going to have 3 mood read slots, because I've done my following on book. The book, I've got 2 choices for my challenge book, if you like, call that slot for my challenges. I'm missing from A to Z, I'm missing the letters A, E, J, K, Q, U, V, X, Y, Z. Some of those yucky ones at the end of the alphabet, I think I'm going to cheat, and as long as the letter is in the title rather than the start of the title. Although, excuse me, Y I think is fine and X is fine. I've got books for both of those written down. So Q, V and X definitely, I think I'll just go with they're in the title. U, I might be able to find a book starting with U, so we'll just see. Anyway, I've managed to find 2 books, one for A and one for E. They're both on the Kindle, so I'll put the covers up on the screen. The first one is Assisting the Billionaire by Willa Renfro, which I think is a short, which is why I then looked for something else. And I found an Enemies with Benefits by Roxy Noir. And I also, yeah, so hopefully I should be able to get both of those read this month, because the short one is an evening read, if that, lunchtime read. So that should be interesting. So if I fill all of my slots, so I've already read 1 book and I'm going for at least 8, I should possibly be able to get 8, 9 or 10 books read in July. We'll just have to see, because it's a bit chunky. Yeah, but it's romance and I'm flying through romances. I will talk about my June books when I show you my reading journal, I think, rather than doing a separate video for that, because it'll get too far into the month otherwise. So as much as I like other genres, it's taking me slower to read some of those books, whereas romance, I could read a romance in a day. Probably these 2 I could almost read in a day, if I set my mind to it and I got all my jobs done out of the way first thing in the morning. Anyway, so that is where we are at. We've got 4 books picked for HRCYED, we've got a challenge book, and then I've basically got 3 mood reading squares, because I've already done the flow on book. So let's see how we go at the end of the month. Alright, I hope you enjoyed having a little look, and I will catch you again in another video very soon. Thanks everyone, bye for now.